For today's lab practice, we will be looking at implementing authentication, access control, basic firewall rules. Please, group one, let's settle down. Let's settle down, please. So we've seen authentication, access control, implementing basic firewall rules. Then as part of that, we would see allowed list, denied list, bypass rule. I'll just give a brief overview. If you recall right from our first classes, please, are we together? Right from the first classes, the fundamentals, group 3, fundamentals, network defense, and also the ethics. Please, let's be together. We have been talking about defending our network, and from all your presentations, we have seen several areas. We talk of intrusion detection system, we talk of firewalls, we talk of BYOD, bringing your own devices and implications, and we also talk about network segmentation and all of that. And we have done series of case studies on how we can authenticate users on the network, and also we talked about like cases whereby we are in the same network environment, that is the same class, and we want to make sure some people can have access to our internet only when authenticated, meaning anybody coming into this class, though you see our network, you must not have access. That is to say, we are creating a firewall rule. Please, let's be together. We are creating a firewall rule to block unauthorized access to our network. So we are going to experiment all of that. So like we did last class, I'll plead you watch what I'm doing, then we would all do it together. So I will not be taking it in any particular order. I'll be taking it at random. So for the class, we'll still be using our Microtic as we earlier said. We'll be using it for the practice. We'll be using this for the practice as we experiment it. So this is my own win box, and I've already seen the router on the network. By default, remember we said always select the MAC address. Once you click on it, the MAC address will automatically enter the connect to window. Are we looking, please? Group 1, 2, 3, 4. Please, no need to do it. Just look. Just look. So I'm working with the assumption that my router contains all the configuration we did in the previous class. Remember the previous class? We already implemented DHCP server. We implemented DHCP client using our phone as a hotspot. Then lastly, we implemented internet access, and we did a simple firewall rule called NAT. I'll make a little change for this. This is the reason. I want the Wi-Fi of the router to be part of the DHCP server bridge. Remember the bridge we did last class? I want us to be able to connect to the Wi-Fi, not the Wi-Fi bringing internet to the network. This is my reason. We are going to learn how to create an hotspot page. That is a login page that has username and password for each particular individual. We'll learn that. And since most of us don't have LAN cable, we'll be using the Wi-Fi. How do I do that? Please look at the screen. I will first of all go to, can we all see it? We can see it. Okay, let me see how to enlarge it. Okay, so this is it now. As you can see on the screen, remember we already configured the wireless. We already configured the wireless interface, and we put the wireless as a DHCP client, which was this. So in my own case, I don't want the wireless to be a client anymore. The only thing I have to do is to disable it. I must not delete it in case I want to use it after now. So I will disable it. Remember, whenever we see the X sign in my Microtik, it stands for disable. Group 4. Group 4, let's look at what I'm doing. You disable. After disabling it as a DHCP client, I will go back to my bridge. Why am I going to bridge? Because I said that I said earlier that we already put some networks on our bridge. Which is that? Which is this? So I'll go back to my bridge and add the wireless port to my bridge. I will add the wireless port to my bridge. On my own router, I have ETA 1. I have ETA 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the bridge. I will then add the wireless port to my bridge. That is my wire LAN. I will add it to my bridge. Meaning the wireless now is taking the same property as all those ports. The next thing I want to do is to create the hotspot. What is hotspot in Microtik? In Microtik, hotspot is what you use if you want to assign username and password to each person on your network. That means you are now knowing each person by name. Once anybody don't have a personalized username and password, the person can't access the internet part of your network. The person may log in to the router, but the person can't access the internet part of your network. So to create an hotspot, I'll click on IP, then hotspot, IP, then hotspot. It will bring up a window asking me for the hotspot server. The shortcut is just to click hotspot setup. I'll click on it. The system would ask me, which interface do you want the hotspot to run? I'll select SAM network. Remember that SAM network was the name for the bridge. That was the name for my bridge. So I want the hotspot to run on my bridge network. I'll say next. It will bring all of that up just the same way the DHCP works. It will ask me what is the DNS name. Let me explain this. For every hotspot you are creating, it must have a website. That website is where your users go to go and browse. How do we apply this in business? If you learn this part, you can set up a cyber cafe for any cafe that needs a cyber cafe. You know, in those days you go and browse and they issue you a ticket. I don't know if they do it now. Where they issue tickets, username and password to browse. This is how they do it. So you can also use this for a school. You can go to this secondary school that have a Wi-Fi. You know, sometimes, like when I first started, some cases do come. They will tell me that they buy this normal MTN router and they give the Wi-Fi password to everybody. MTN Wi-Fi just has one password where you give to everybody. It means once I give her the password, she can share it among the entire class. How do we stop that? By using a Microtik router. Because Microtik router, you now give everybody their own personalized username and password. So you can use this as a very strong business if you want to go into this. You just go to any organization, school, anywhere and tell them that you can create a system of personalized username for each person. For this class, let me just call it hotspot does cyberclass.com. I'll click on next. Hotspot.cyberclass.com. I'll click on next. The system would ask me, remember there must be a default administrator of the platform. What should be the default admin? Microtics is telling me by default the admin username should always be admin, but with cybersecurity knowledge we always say don't always use the default, because anybody that have ever configured Microtik it is easy for them to hack in, because they may assume that your admin username would always remain admin and they just have the password to hack. So in my own case now, I am saying that the admin username shouldn't be admin. I can say cyber admin. The password, I can just say maybe cyber 12345, or I can decide to use a very strong password to my hotspot, and I use my asterisk 8 times. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and I go to next. Setup has completed successfully. How do we confirm that the setup has completed successfully? Let me log in to my Wi-Fi. Please let me just disable this for now. Okay, so I want to log into the Wi-Fi of my system. I'll check for the Wi-Fi I set up, which was the wireless name of this system was Techno. Okay, please, I forgot one other thing. Remember, we have now put the wireless in the bridge, and those of us that configured our Wi-Fi, remember we set the Wi-Fi mode as a station. Station means bringing internet to the router, but now we are broadcasting. Broadcasting means we have to set the wireless in AP, access point bridge mode. What will be my SSID? Let me call it cyber test. My SSID is cyber test. Password, I won't put any password. I'll say apply and okay. So my laptop, I'll go to my laptop and connect to cyber test. I have seen it. It will open up my browser. Those of you with phones, you can try using your phone if it will open up a login page on your phone. So this my browser now. Let me show you something. So what was the URL? Who can remember the URL? hotspot.cyberclass.com. It has brought up my login page. This is showing us that you may be connected to my DHCP server, but without authentication you cannot browse on my network. So let me put in the admin login and password I will earlier put in. For now, we may not bother with how do we personalize this login page to maybe your own name or your company name. We are just working on authentication for now. I click on connect. Invalid username or password. Okay, cyber admin, sorry. Hi, cyber admin, you are logged in. Let's now go back to our inbox. Look at our inbox now. To confirm those logged in, I'll go to IP, hotspot, active. It is showing me that the user called cyber admin logged in some minutes ago. If I go to host, Host is showing me how many people have attempted to log into my network. It seems people have tried connecting to this the Wi-Fi, right? But you don't have username and password. So the host is telling you that a total of 11 people have already obtained IP address on the network, but they can't browse because they don't have username and password. Let's now play around with this window. If I go to users, user shows us where I created account. So how do we create those accounts in Microtik? It's very simple. Just click the plus button. So let me just say user 1. Someone should try browsing user, username, username user, password user. I'll click OK. Someone should try using this one. The fastest person can log in. Username, user as username, user as password. Someone should log in. Let's see it appearing here. Someone should log in. Who have logged in? Who just logged in? Group 4. Someone have logged in there, and you can see his name has appeared. This is a typical example of user authentication and identifying legitimate users on your network. So assuming I created username for everybody in this class, and you share your username to anybody, once I see your username appearing on the network, I can see the IP address assigned to you. So if you come and tell me you can't browse, I simply need to open it up and see that someone is using your username and password, meaning you have shared the access. On this same case, let's do some firewall rules. Firewall rules now. Let us block the user details and decide how many people can use user accounts. We do that with user profile. If you notice, have anybody tried using that user again? Someone should try it. Someone should try it and tell us the error message that comes up. User. Please try it on your phone. Try it on your phone. Just try connecting to the cyber AP, then try logging in. I want to know the error that comes up. Anybody, please, anybody. Connect to our AP, cyber AP, then type in, it will open up a login page. Who have tried it? Group what? Okay, so you are looking for the Wi-Fi name. The Wi-Fi name is Cyber Test. Cyber Test. Cyber Test is the Wi-Fi name. Cyber Test. Cyber Test is the Wi-Fi name. Cyber Test is the Wi-Fi name. Connection what?
Error of city. It can't connect.
As well, can you try the laptop? The laptop.
This thing is not connecting.
No,
Try
your
to-
Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi. Try your Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi of the laptop. Yes, cyber test. The Wi-Fi of your laptop. On the Wi-Fi, yes. Cyber test. No, on your Wi-Fi. Okay. Cyber test. Look for cyber test. Use your laptop to connect. No, use your laptop to connect. The Wi-Fi. Cyber test. Wi-Fi. Okay. Cyber test. Try it again. Try connect. No, try it again. Try it again. You can disconnect from that one. Cyber test. Yes. Okay, connected. Okay. So visit the hotspot page now. Please, those with laptops, you can try it. Cyber test is the AP. Hotspots. No, type it here on the browser. Hotspots. Do small letters. Hotspot.cyberclass.com. Cyberclass. No space. Yes, no internet access. .com. Okay, so log in with user, password user. What is it showing? No more sessions allowed. Have anybody tried it with a laptop? It's not showing what?
You can do your fingerprint. I start to log in. Yeah, previous.
Try it again. Wow. Let me check. Okay, we are going to check why some of you can't connect, but let's notice something. So in group 1, it was showed that no more sessions allowed for user. So how do we decide how many people should use a particular username created? We do that under user profile. If you notice, we have just one profile called default. I can create my own profile and call it class. Under class, I'll look for shared users. Shared users, I can put it as 5. When I put it as 5, I will say OK. So I'll go back to my users. Maybe under the user now, profile, I'll select class. The cyber admin, I want only one person to log in. So you can try logging in now. So user profile is where you can authenticate number of people to use a particular username while logging into your system. You do that under user profile. We do that under user profile. Please, what did you say? I didn't get you. Okay. You noticed it. I'll explain it now. Frequency. This is not really covered, but let me explain it. In wireless, we have every connection in wireless has to do with what we call frequency. Wireless frequency just has to do with the waves that are moving. I'm looking for the most easiest way. Okay, so in frequency, we have some frequencies that are frequently used by all devices, while some are very free, in the sense that sometimes you are browsing on the Wi-Fi and it's very slow. You see some other people using that same network is very fast. So maybe browsing is slow, on that same Wi-Fi is fast. What makes it slow or fast sometimes have to do with the frequency of connection. So the frequency actually have a lot to do with the speed of your network. For Wi-Fi access points, we usually assume, it's generally believed that all access points being put in a particular building are propagating signal at particular frequencies, and most times people don't set it. Remember, we said out of the box they just leave it and start implementing, meaning there are some frequencies that are commonly used, maybe 2412, maybe what is commonly used by everybody, but I want to make sure my network is fast and does not have any interference. I can decide to use maybe 2462 or something, which means that I am assuming that a lot of network emitting equipment are not broadcasting on that particular frequency, making it very free for my class or for my own clients to browse. So that's the simplest I can talk about frequency for now. So I'm trying to solve why it's not we can't connect. No, but latency has a lot, the frequency has a lot to do with the latency, because latency is the speed at which you can reach a destination. So if your frequency is high, or if your frequency is already accumulated and jam-packed with other people, it means the latency will be very, very high. So I'm trying to connect with my phone. Let's see if it has worked. I think the cyber test has connected on my phone, but without internet, connected without internet. It has connected without internet. So on my Microtik, we use user profile under Hotspots to determine the number of authenticated users that can access our network, while we use the users to actually create people that can browse on our network. So the last thing I would want to explain is allowed list, denied list, and bypass rule. Now let me give a case scenario. Please, what's your name? Mary Cynthia. Okay, Mary Cynthia is the HOD of this class. So let's assume she's the HOD of this class, or she's the chairman of this class. And please, let's speak. And you know, as the chairman of the class, we have created a username and password for her. But she comes in and tells the IT, I have issue remembering username and password. You can't tell me that each time I come, I have to log in. She can simply tell the IT unit, I want a situation whereby once I come into this class and connect to the Wi-Fi, I should browse the internet automatically. Meaning, she's asking us that she wants to bypass our hotspot firewall, or maybe our intrusion detection system, which is our firewall rule done by the hotspot. She wants to bypass it and go straight to the internet. What are we going to do? We are going to create a bypass rule for our device. But how do we even know how to do that? Remember, I told us When we are talking about DHCP has to do with dynamic IP addresses. Dynamic means that once she leaves today and come tomorrow, the system gives her another IP address. The system giving her different IP address whenever she comes means that we cannot use the IP address to bypass the network, because if the system gives her 20.5 today and we use IP address to create that bypass rule, it means that tomorrow when she comes again, she has to log in because someone else will be using that IP address. So what are we going to use? We are going to use a MAC address. We say that MAC address is unique to each particular device. But are we going to tell her, ma, I need your phone to look for your MAC address? You don't need to do that. The router has already captured every detail that has to do with her phone. How do we view that? The only thing we need to tell her is, please log in when you come in and inform me that you have logged in. So I'll try it. I can see that 4 people have logged in with the username called user. Let me look for this person, 20.228. Let me look for him. How do I identify who he is? Remember, we did this when we were doing DHCP server. 20.228. I'll go to my DHCP server, go to leases, and I'm looking for 228. 228 is a desktop. So I don't know the name of this desktop. Who is Marcos Uba? Marcos. Okay. So let me look for another one. 20.230.243. 230 and 243. 230 is Emmanuel Felix. Who is Emmanuel Felix? Emmanuel Felix. You are logged into our network with your phone or laptop. Phone or laptop? Laptop. So Emmanuel Felix, I'm assuming Emmanuel Felix laptop is our chairman. So I want to make sure Emmanuel Felix can always access the network without browsing. I will go to his address and double click. When I double click, I will see his MAC address. You can see the MAC address. I can decide to copy it. See what I'm doing? I'm copying. I right click it and say copy. When I say copy, I will go to IP binding, still under hotspot. IP binding. Under IP binding, I'll click the plus button. It will ask me for MAC. I will paste it. I will come to type and say bypass. When I say bypass, I can come to comment. Comment is to tell me the person's name. I will say chairman. You say Mary. Mary Cynthia. Chairman Mary Cynthia laptop. Once I do this and say okay, her name would automatically disappear from the hotspot user and she would now appear on binding. Once she appear on binding, even host will put her name. Once she appear on binding, anytime that laptop accesses my Wi-Fi, it does not need to log in anymore at all. It does not need to log into the network. It will simply access the network. In that same vein, what if someone have told me that Mary Cynthia's laptop is performing, maybe whenever it comes to class, is downloading movies. So I want to make sure I block that laptop. I can simply come to that same Mary Cynthia. Instead of saying bypass, what am I going to say? Block. Once I say block, it means she can never access internet on my network anymore because I have blocked that MAC address. Let's take questions before we try it. Questions, please. Questions before we try it. Questions. I shall block it. I will block it. Questions, please. Questions. Okay, so in the absence of questions, we will start this all over. I'm going to delete my hotspot server. Everything I've deleted. Once I deleted my hotspot server, everything deleted. So please, let's now connect to our routers. Group 1A, have you logged into the router? Group 1, have you logged in? I'm coming. Have you logged in? Delete the password. Remove the password. Remember, we didn't put password in the last class. Remove the password. Delete it. Yes. So you are there. Group 1B. Group 1B, have you logged in to the hotspot? It's on, it's on. Refresh. Hold on. Allow it. You didn't put this well. It's blinking now. You have to ensure you have plugged this very well. Okay. Click the mark, then log in. Group 2. Are you logged in? What's the problem? It's not what?
It's not connecting. I've tried putting in the password.
You say select the mark. You are selecting the IP. Select the mark. Select the mark. It will then enter here. Then try connecting again. Group 2B. Have you logged in? What's the problem? Have you gone to refresh? Okay, you're not seeing it. See them here now. Did you click refresh? So see yours here now. Group 3. Group 3, any problem? Group 3A, any challenge? Group 3B, any challenge? Which group is this? Are you with them? Okay. What's the problem? Is that cable okay? I'm not seeing any. Okay. See it here now. You didn't click on neighbors. Then you click the mark. You said always click the mark address. Connect. This group may have put in a password. Which group is this group too? We may not want to start with setting now because of time. Could if people join like other groups, and just to see, because this now means you have to reset the router completely, and you now do from what we did the other day. Or can you remember what we did the other day in this group? Last class. Okay, let's reset it. Let me show you how to reset it. I'm coming, yeah. Oh, sorry. Okay. So you have to start from the beginning. Remember, the password is at the back of this. Any challenge? No.
Yes. I think the last class that we did, we were not able to, we didn't have a system that could run, that could connect to the
Yeah.
router, so we don't know how. I don't know if there's any other system in place when we go to bridge. We have to set up from here.
So don't you guys remember what we did on bridge last class?
I couldn't follow the practical. I couldn't follow
I
it.
didn't watch the videos. That's serious, oh. What we did,
Yes, sir.
but you know the concept of bridge because I won't go through it. You know the concept of bridge, what bridge is meant for.
Yes, sir.
You know it. What bridge is meant for? Bridge. What is it meant for? We use bridge to combine all the ports to serve as one.
Yes, sir.
So with that, we create the bridge first. After creating the bridge, we now have to add all the ports to the bridge. For now, I'll just say add all. Yes, the other day we did it one by one, but for today's class, remember today's class we also added the Wi-Fi. So it makes sense if we're adding all. After doing that, hope you still know how to create IP address. So create your IP and drop it on the bridge interface. Members contribute, assist him. Create an IP. 198. It's even on the board now.
Is that one on the board? 192.168.20. Right. Let's go
24/24. No. Please be very careful. You drop it on the interface, which is bridge 1.
Yeah.
The next thing we did was to create a DHCP server,
Yes, sir.
which is this. We did set up directly. We dropped the server on bridge 1. Okay, we didn't have any DNS, so we'll create a DNS. 8.8.8.8.
That's 8.8.8.8.
Okay, next. Continue. We did that one. So the next thing we now did was to do the NATing. That's the firewall to create a NAT rule. IP. Okay. The firewall.
See firewall over DNS.
NAT. So you now create a NAT rule.
So now it's here.
You create a NAT rule now. So we said you just simply go to action and masquerade. Remember when we talked about masquerade? None of you remember it. Masquerade. And you didn't watch the video. Masquerade, okay.
On the YouTube videos, sir.
Yes.
Masquerade.
Okay. Just okay. Okay. That's all. Then the wireless, activate your wireless. Activate it. It's disabled. Enable it. See it's here now, it's disabled. Someone disabled it already. So you now give it this where we are. Please let's go on. So as we were saying, remember for those of you that did this stuff in the last class, your wireless may be on DHCP clients like this. Please, those of you that did it in all those routers were used in the last class, so you quickly go to DHCP client. It's not in yours. DHCP client and disable the wireless interface. Let's quickly do it. We don't have time anymore. DHCP client, then disable the wireless interface. DHCP client, disable the wireless interface. Group 1, have you done it? Group 1B, 1A, 2A, 2B, 3A, 3B, 3B. You can't, please, someone should help them. Disable the wireless line in DHCP client if it is there. That's if it is there. Okay, you are the one that started afresh. So, okay, you won't have that. After disabling it, you come back to the wireless to convert it to an access point. So when you come to wireless, you double click it. You come to wireless, it will bring you to the interfaces. You double click it, the mode, you are changing the mode to AP bridge. For those of you on the other smaller, the other type of router, the mode is somewhere down. The other smaller router, you have located it. See it here. AP. For those of you the other router, the mode, you change it to AP. Those of you on this type, you change it to AP bridge. AP bridge, if you see band, please always use BGN. This one I may not explain it in this class, so the only explanation I'll give is that BGN simply talks about mobile phones and maybe laptops and other things. The channel width also talks about the kind of things that can connect without having issue. So mobile phones and 20.40. Mobile phones and laptops, some of them operate on 20, some operate on 40. So just use 20.40, 20/40. SSID, give it a name, please. SSID, give it a name. 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 Have you done that? Have you done this? Please look at this. When you give it a name, the next thing you go to, please let's go to WDS. WDS. There's no WDS on yours. SSI, channel width. Okay, it's not the channel. Okay, band. It's inside band. But you just leave it. See channel with here. Even that thing does not.
SSID.
Yeah, I've done that one. I saw it somewhere. Okay. So when you do that, please, when you do that, look at this. For those on this type of router, as mine, you would click on WDS, wireless distribution. This is like a kind of a transparent stuff. WDS, it will be disabled. Please take it to dynamic. If you don't have it, to ignore. If you don't have it, to ignore. Wireless distribution system. Wireless distribution system. WDS means wireless distribution system. It is actually used when you are having issues of compatibility with different Wi-Fi devices. Why do we put it on dynamic? Because we are using DHCP. So we put it on dynamic. So WDS mode, we put it on dynamic. Then default bridge, we select the bridge you created and put it there and say apply or OK. Under wireless, you give it a name, SSID, the mode, then WDS, you select dynamic and drop it on the bridge you are working with and say apply and OK. Group 1A. Group 1A, have you done that? Group 1, have you done that? Group 1B. No WDS. Which router? This one, okay. Group 2B. 2B. You have done it. You didn't find it now. You don't have it. Ignore. Group 3A. Group 4. What is not reading? Reading in where now? But have we done the WDS? Remember my laptop is connected to it already. I created Wi-Fi already. So having done this, let's now put the wireless under the DHCP server. Remember we said we want it to also get IP addresses and assign to others. So we'll go to bridge. To bridge. We have to put the wireline under that same bridge. Sorry? Bridge. You have done it already. So for other groups, remember the last class, we only bridged our ETA 1 to ETA 4 under one bridge. Do you remember that in the last class? Last class, we put ETA 1 to 4 under one bridge. So we want to add wireless ports to that bridge. Let's add it. Add wireless ports to that bridge by clicking the plus button. Select the wireless interface. Select the bridge network and say OK. It's not working. You have not disabled it from clients if it doesn't work. This is not bridge now. Which reading are you talking about? Which of the reading? What is not reading? Bridge. Have you gone here? Port. You have to add the wireless LAN port to it now. This is it.
Okay.
Yes, so that it will be in the same bridge. It
But
has.
there was a time after you finished that first part.
Leave
It
mine.
was
Mine I've connected to the Wi-Fi. That's why it's reading. You people connected to my wireless. That's why it's reading. That video is reading because people have connected to it. Have you done it? Bridge. Sorry, bridge. Oh, you're not done with this.
When we press apply, no go. If we change the name, we still
Change your SSID now.
we have changed it.
OK is the only thing I'll take it out. When you click OK, apply will save the configuration, but OK will take the window away.
No, it will apply.
Apply then OK. Then close. You can close it now. There's a close button before.
Implementation.
Okay. That's what you mean. Is that the only place to set SSID? See now, this you have not changed it.
I change it to a
Okay, it's not saving. Can you restart it? Let's see. Okay. It has changed. Okay. Okay. So you can put it under the bridge now. Have you put it already? So having put it under the bridge, you have an issue. Is that not the bridge that was created? So what's the problem?
So if you click on add.
No, we are not adding a new bridge. You are adding the port.
Okay.
You are adding the wireless port inside the bridge. You are adding the wireless port into the bridge. So let's create the hotspot network. To create the hotspot network, let's create the hotspot network now. To create it, we'll go to IP hotspots. You go to IP hotspots, IP hotspots. Then click on hotspot setup. Are you seeing it? IP hotspot, IP hotspot. Click on hotspot setup. No what? No hotspot setup. No hotspot setup. Then select your interface, which should be your bridge, and say next. To create hotspot, click on IP. Have you clicked on IP? Group 1, have you clicked on IP? Group 2, click on IP, then click hotspot. Have you clicked on it? Then click on hotspot setup. Have you seen hotspot setup? Select the interface, which is your bridge interface, and click on next. Certificate none. Yes. The DNS name, hotspot, give it any name you want. Which DNS server or DNS name? DNS server should be Google server 8.8.8.8. DNS name, give it any name. Hotspot.group4 hotspot. Now me I'm giving my own hotspot dot lecturer. Now I'm giving my own hotspot dot lecturer. No need to put .com. It's not compulsory. Give it any name, then give it the admin username and password, and it will say complete. Sorry, it's not compulsory. So when you do that, you can now try connecting to your hotspot that you have created. You can try connecting to the hotspot you have created. How many of us have tried it now? Has it worked? Your login page has come up. Group 1. Group 1, are you done? Fail to do what? Where did you create your hotspot? You didn't take note of that. You said create it on your rich name.
My work. You're supposed to change this admin, right?
Which admin is that? I'm confused.
When I was setting this place, it did not bring another place that they wrote admin and password. It just went down.
How many have you done? How many are you doing? This is much now. Okay. So let's do it again. Okay. So IP hotspot setup on the bridge name, right? Next. Say none. Next. Group 1B. Is there .com there? Put the password now. Next. Okay. So is this the one?
Yeah.
And disconnect and connect again, so that it will bring up the hotspot page, or so that you go to your browser and type. Any issue? Have you gone to the login page? Connect now. I say connect. So, I don't understand. No, go to the login page. Go to your browser and type the login URL you put in. You have forgotten. I'm not the one that typed it now. The hotspot URL you put in when you are creating it. You have forgotten. When you created this hotspot server, the DNS name you put it, what did you put there? Ben.group2b. So type it in a browser. The way you typed it there, that's why we don't advise capital letters. 2B, just do 2B.com. Do.com so that you're not confused it. Okay. So login. Group 3. Group 3. Have you logged in? 3B. You have logged into your hotspot page. You can't find what? You find it in where? Are you logged in? You can't find your Wi-Fi or you can't.
You can't find their Wi-Fi.
Confused.
Like the Wi-Fi name, you cannot find it.
Let's try your phone. What's the name?
What is server home?
Okay, try again. No, connect now. If you have seen it, connect. Okay. So open a browser to type the login page you did. Also try it now. Also try it. What's the problem? What's the problem? No what? No more user allowed.
Yes.
We'll do it now. We'll do it. We'll do it. It's not coming up. Cyber home, right? What you may do, you can delete it again.